What you can actually do is if you wanted, what I recommend people do to get all the full flavonoid benefit is to, you get the caffeine from the first draw of the cup, but you keep using green tea over and over again. So you do.
Oh, so it's like a water.
Yeah, because the flavonoids take a longer time to come out, go into solution. So you want to keep pouring, hot water over the green tea, and then you'll get a full extraction of the epigallocatechin gallate, but you won't have any more caffeine.
Okay, so this is important for any of you who didn't hear that. Actually, the green tea, and in China,
That's the way to
Charlie
drink it.
yeah.
Using the leaves.
He only knows Taiwan. Oh, okay, sorry. But it probably knows in China, you actually don't drink the first cup of green tea. You actually pour out the first cup. Probably to get the lead off of it from how they dry it. But anyway, they don't usually drink that. But he said that the EGCG, which are the chemicals that are inhibiting H1N1, come out later on, whereas the caffeine comes out earlier on. So if you keep using the same one, you pour out the first two, boilings of it or whatever, then you'll get rid of a lot of the caffeine, but you'll get more out of the subsequent cups of the EGCG and the ECG. Okay, so immunity boosting soups. We have here is a soup recipe. Do we have copies of this for people, or maybe we can put it up on our website for people? Okay, if we have your.
Put it on the blog.
All right, we'll put this recipe up on our blog so you guys don't have to frantically write it all down. But it has a number of interesting things, and this is very good for helping to boost the immune system, and particularly against some of them, particularly against the
beta carotene, quercetin. We have the beta glucans. So
okay, great.
Thyme and parsley are antimicrobial. So
right, we didn't get into thyme and parsley from the essential oils and so forth out of those. They're very, very strongly antimicrobial. Okay, so here are instructions. You guys don't have to frantically write them down. Immune-enhancing juices. The juice of 2 lemons, 1 orange, 5 carrots, 1 Granny Smith apple, 1 red pepper, and a bunch of Swiss chard. If you have arthritis, you might want to forego the red pepper, but otherwise, that's...
Here you have quercetin, vitamin C, beta carotene.
So this is a way to really help boost your immune system.
How much does that make, would you say? How much juice?
They're all different sizes of that. You have the, the nuclear apples, and you have the,
I'd imagine that would probably make about maybe a 6 to 8 ounce glass.
Oh.
Probably. It's probably not that
5 carrots.
much.
5 carrots, though. Anyway,
Depends on the
doesn't matter.
size. Some
Yeah.
carrots
Size of
are
carrot,
like,
yeah.
again,
Yeah.
and some are like the tiny slivery ones.
The
Like one
So,
bunch.
but is this considered one serving for my immunity enhancing? I guess that's an important question.
Yeah, probably about 8 ounces of juice if you're using this would be good. If you could do
Okay.
that even, yeah. I mean, this might, depending on your size of your stuff, this is kind of like an idea of a ratio too,
Right.
in some approximate ways. And the nice thing with juicing is it's not an exact science. You don't have to worry, oh, am I getting the exact this or that? It just kind of,
One other addition to that could be some garlic cloves as well.
Okay.
If you like the idea of having
can hammer
a
that.
Granny Smith apple with garlic.
Yeah.
in it,
Oh,
but,
that tastes
probably gnarly.
Okay, so, all right, and that's instructions on how to do it. Again, we'll put it on our blog, which is blog.herbalroom.com. It's kind of a no-brainer. Herbalroom, HERBALROOM, as in Mary. Okay, immunity smoothie. So you can, have a juice a day, a smoothie a day. You don't have to OT on one thing. Again, getting really broad spectrum of chemicals and ways to boost your immune system. So you can have a soup, you can have the juice, and you can have a smoothie type thing. Okay. Anyway, we'll have that up. And what about herbs? Okay, so many herbs can be used to either directly or indirectly boost immunity. We talked about why. 2 categories of herbs are antimicrobials and adaptogens. We mentioned adaptogens are the ones that boost your immune system, but they increase its energy. And potentially some of them, if you have a pathogen, it can increase the pathogen's energy. So in Chinese medicine, we don't use as many adaptogens if you're sick, unless you are super fatigued. Then it's, the risk-benefit ratio is towards using them. In Western herbalism, they do use adaptogens a lot, though.
Yeah, I have a problem using certain adaptogens. I wouldn't use ginseng though. That I definitely don't use when people are sick. But
so the antimicrobial herbs help the body either resist or destroy microorganisms. And here are some of the examples. Garlic is actually, it's strong enough to be considered an herb. Andrographis is one that's been studied with H1N1. I think we go through these.
It's 11:20.
Oh, it is? Okay, so we'll go through these quickly. Endographis was specifically against H1N1. It's very strongly anti-tumor also, so that's an added benefit. Increases activity of natural killer cells, and there's the study. It was superior to amantadine in the treatment of flu symptoms and speeding recovery time. It was effective against several strains of influenza, including H1N1. So this is more broad spectrum than what you would get from a vaccine.
Endographis is an amazing herb.
Yeah.
Really amazing herb.
And elderberry, it doesn't taste good though, let me tell you.
No, it
You can
tastes
get them
awful.
in little pills and take them as prevention. And you have to check, when you're taking herbs, whatever the dose says on the bottle, check how you're feeling, okay? Because some herbs will upset your stomach or do something like that. You may be able to take it with food, but if you're not feeling great, just lower the dose. You'll find a dose where you can feel okay with on the herbs usually, and that'll be your maintenance dose. Yeah.
So it's something like that, whatever it's called.
Endographis, yeah.
Do you, how much would you recommend taking?
It depends. For
Is that
maintenance,
if you're
you
exposed, just if you're exposed, if you feel like you've been exposed?
Well,
or-
endographis is pretty strong. You can take a low dose as maintenance, like they're something like a gram, or equivalent of a gram to 2 grams
The
for
extract,
yeah, an
the
extract,
extract,
right?
yeah. It's like maybe 5 grams of the raw of the day if you really do a tea or something.
Yeah, if you can handle that, but anywhere in that category, because prevention, you don't have to worry. Prevention is keeping the chemicals in your body, and then if you feel, oh gee, that wasn't enough, I'm actually starting to get something, then you pound it, and it really is helpful to do it that way. So you can then up the dose quite a bit if you do end up catching something.
So you recommend taking it throughout the whole flu season, or?
You can, yeah, as long as you don't have side effects from it. Any uncomfortable effects, and if you do, lower the dose and see if you can maintain that dose. If not, we have a number of options. Then you can switch. You could be doing, elderberry, or you can be doing this and that. You can change things around. We give you enough stuff that you can play with it. I don't recommend doing the same thing all the time, really, for long periods of time for anything, unless you don't have an option. Okay, elderberry. This is also, very effective for
But elderberry
H1N1.
is tasty. So.
And it's tasty, and we, there's like a syrup that we have, for example, that they sell that just tastes like pancake syrup.
It does. It's
The
great.
sugar, it's got sugar in it. It's got fructose in it, which is also not the greatest. But sometimes you have to balance. Not everything's perfect. But anyway, more people take it when it tastes better. So that's. So elderberry extract has been used for the treatment of colds and flu for years in Western herbal medicine. Sambucol is a standardized extract of Sambucus, which is elderberry, on the flu, and it's been studied extensively.
One little note, Sambucol was actually developed by a virologist. So.
Okay, and it inhibits replication of both influenza A and B.
But you can have like elderberry wine, elderberry juice. and
You
elderberry
could, but again,
jam.
whenever you do these things, you have to weigh what you're doing. Because if you're having elderberry wine and elderberry syrup, yeah, you're getting the alcohol from the wine, which can inhibit your immune system unless you're already sick. If you're already sick, you may want to do elderberry wine because it'll help you sweat.
It'll help you sweat.
If you're at the
You know,
initial
increase your
stages of an
germ
infection,
response. So.
if you're at the initial stages of an infection, wine can be helpful. Because you can take it, you cover up, you drink something warm, some wine, and you start sweating, and it can help push the virus out if it hasn't gotten in too deep yet. Okay, now we talked about this. It compares favorably to Tamiflu and amantadine. So these are the antivirals that we have in Western medicine, meaning it's pretty much equivalent. So and even though Tamiflu is now found in the rivers, and everybody's peeing it out, and so we're becoming resistant. Viruses are becoming potentially resistant to Tamiflu as well. But elderberry, not enough people are taking it yet for it to matter. Or maybe we, metabolize it better because it's a natural substance. Astragalus is another one. It's been used in Chinese medicine. I'm going to go through this. This is an adaptogen. It increases white blood cells, natural killer cells. It's not specific to H1N1 though. Ganoderma is also a generalized. It can really help boost your immune system overall, very anti-cancerous, very good overall substance that you can use. That's the Ganoderma is
Ganoderma is
linked.
linked to-
Yeah, right.